Most older men don't realize how fast they can kill attraction. They think women are blind to their mistakes, but women notice everything. And the sad truth? The more desperate you look, the faster she loses interest. You can have money, status, even experience. None of it matters if your energy screams neediness. Because women don't just listen to what you say, they feel how you show up. Desperation is like a bad smell. You might not notice it, but she does instantly. The little things you do without thinking can expose your insecurity in seconds. And once she labels you as desperate, it's game over. You're no longer attractive. You're invisible. That's why today we're going to break down the 7 things older men do that instantly kill their chances. If you want respect, desire, and real attraction, you need to avoid these mistakes at all costs. 1. Over-texting and over-calling. One of the fastest ways older men destroy attraction is by over-communicating. Constantly texting, calling, and checking in might feel like showing interest, but to a woman, it screams desperation. Think about it. If every time she looks at her phone, there's another message from you, what does that tell her? It tells her you have nothing better going on in your life. It tells her you're sitting there waiting, hoping, begging for her attention. And the truth is, women are repelled by that. Why? Because neediness is the opposite of value. Attraction thrives on space and mystery. When you flood her inbox, when you double text after she hasn't replied, when you call just to hear her voice, you aren't building desire. You're suffocating it. Women know the difference between a confident man with options and a man clinging to her for validation. The confident man doesn't chase because he has his own life. He gives her the space to miss him, to wonder about him, to think, why isn't he blowing up my phone like everyone else? That question alone makes him stand out. Now, here's the problem. Most older men rationalize their behavior by saying, I just wanted to show her I care, or I didn't want her to think I forgot about her. But what you call caring, she interprets as insecurity. What you think is effort, she feels as pressure. And pressure kills attraction. A woman doesn't want to feel like your entire happiness depends on how fast she replies. She wants to feel like she's stepping into a man's world, not like she suddenly became his babysitter. The key is balance. Interest is fine. Over-interest is fatal. If she texts, you respond, but you don't drop everything instantly every single time. If she calls, you answer when you can, not like you've been sitting by the phone waiting. By holding back just a little, you send a powerful message. I value you, but I also value myself. That's what makes her lean in. That's what makes her check her phone, wondering why you're not chasing like every other guy. So remember this. Communication should spark curiosity, not kill it. The man who bombards her loses her. The man who gives her just enough, then pulls back, keeps her hooked. Women don't want desperate attention. They want magnetic presence. And if you master this, you'll never look desperate again. 2. Bragging about money and success. Another mistake that instantly makes older men look desperate is bragging about money, status, or success. Too many men believe that if they flash their achievements, women will automatically be impressed. They talk about their car, their house, their job title, or how much they've accomplished, as if women are sitting there with a checklist, waiting to be convinced. But here's the truth. When you brag, you're not showing strength. You're showing insecurity. You're basically saying, please like me because of what I own, not because of who I am. And women pick up on that energy immediately. Confidence is silent. Insecurity is loud. The man who truly has value doesn't need to prove it with words. His presence, his calmness, his composure. Those things speak louder than any story about his promotion from 10 years ago. When you start listing your achievements or constantly reminding her of what you've built, it doesn't come across as power. It comes across as fear. Fear that without your money or status, you're not enough. And once she senses that fear, attraction dies. Here's the irony. Women don't lose interest because you're successful. They lose interest because you try too hard to shove that success in their face. A confident man lets her discover his value naturally. Maybe she notices the way you carry yourself when you walk into a room. Maybe she sees how other people respect you. Maybe she learns over time what you've built. That natural discovery builds curiosity. It makes her think, there's something powerful about this man. I want to know more. But when you brag, you remove all mystery. You sound like you're pitching yourself in a sales meeting instead of creating attraction. Worse, you put her in a position where she feels like you're trying to buy her attention. And nothing kills desire faster than feeling like she's being bought instead of chosen. The right move? Keep your success in the background, not the spotlight. You don't need to announce it, you live it. Let your lifestyle, your energy, and your confidence speak for themselves. Mention achievements only when it naturally fits the conversation, not as a weapon to impress. Because here's the secret. The man who doesn't flaunt his value is the man who makes her want to chase it. And that, more than any bragging, is what turns attraction into obsession. 3. Chasing validation through compliments. One of the most subtle yet damaging mistakes older men make is drowning women in compliments. On the surface, it might seem harmless. After all, who doesn't like being told they're beautiful? But when every other sentence out of your mouth is praise, it doesn't come across as charm. It comes across as a desperation. Women know the difference between a man who notices her beauty with confidence and a man who is trying to buy her attention with flattery. And trust me, too many compliments signal the latter. Here's why this backfires. When you constantly shower her with praise, you're putting her on a pedestal. You're saying, you're the prize, and I'm just lucky to be here. That dynamic flips attraction upside down. Instead of seeing you as an equal, or even someone she should work to impress, she sees you as another admirer, another man in line begging for her validation. And once she categorizes you as that type of man, it's nearly impossible to escape the nice guy box that women rarely feel attraction for. Now, don't misunderstand this. Compliments in moderation are powerful. A single, well-timed compliment can hit harder than 10 generic ones. But when you repeat the same lines over and over, "You're so beautiful. You're gorgeous. I can't believe a girl like you is talking to me." You're not building attraction. You're exposing insecurity. You're essentially admitting that her looks are the only thing keeping you hooked, and that without constant validation from her, you wouldn't know your worth. The confident man flips this script. He doesn't use compliments as a tool to win her over. He uses them sparingly, almost like seasoning on a meal. Just enough to enhance the flavor, not drown it. He might notice something unique about her that most men overlook, like the way she laughs or the way she carries herself, and drop one authentic line that feels real. That single, thoughtful compliment has 10 times the impact because it's rare, it's specific, and it comes from a place of abundance, not neediness. So here's the bottom line. Women aren't turned off by compliments. They're turned off by the motive behind them. If your praise comes from a place of "please like me," she feels it instantly and loses respect. But if it comes from a place of calm confidence, it sticks in her mind. The man who knows his value doesn't hand out validation like candy. He makes her earn it, and that's exactly why she craves more. 4. Moving too fast and rushing intimacy. One of the clearest ways older men make themselves look desperate is by trying to move too fast. They meet a woman, feel attraction, and instead of letting things unfold naturally, they start pushing for more time, more affection, more intimacy, long before she's ready. And here's the harsh truth. When you rush, you're not showing confidence, you're showing fear. Fear that if you don't lock her down right now, you'll lose her. Women feel that energy instantly, and instead of drawing them in, it makes them pull away. Think about it. If after one date you're already talking about the future, if you're pressuring her to come back to your place, if you're asking for exclusivity before she's even processed how she feels, you're not building connection, you're smothering it. Attraction works like firewood. It catches slowly and burns hotter the more oxygen you give it. But when you try to dump gasoline on it, you don't get a stronger fire. You scare her off and burn out fast. Here's where most older men go wrong. They confuse maturity with entitlement. They think, I'm older, I know what I want, I don't have time for games. And so they try to accelerate the process. But women don't respond to timelines or logic when it comes to attraction. They respond to how they feel. And if you're rushing her, what she feels is pressure. Pressure kills curiosity, and without curiosity, there's no desire. The confident man understands the value of patience. He doesn't need to prove anything by rushing. He knows his worth, and that alone creates a magnetic pull. Instead of asking, "So where is this going?" After the second date, he lets her wonder. Instead of trying to force physical closeness immediately, he creates tension, subtle touches, strong eye contact, meaningful pauses. That tension is what makes her heart race, what makes her imagine what could happen next. And the more she imagines, the deeper her attraction grows. So here's the secret. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. When you give her space to lean in at her own pace, she invests more. She starts chasing you, craving the next step, because you're not forcing it, you're guiding it. Desperation rushes, confidence waits. And when you wait, she doesn't just feel attracted, she feels addicted. 5. Overinvesting. Too early. Another big mistake that makes older men look desperate is overinvesting before the woman has earned it. What does that mean? It's when you start giving her your time, your energy, your money, your emotions, long before she's given anything back. You're buying her expensive gifts after only a week. You're rearranging your schedule to fit hers when she hasn't even done the same. You're treating her like a queen when she hasn't even shown you she's worth the crown. And here's the truth. When you overinvest too soon, you don't look generous, you look desperate. Why? Because real value doesn't give itself away without standards. A confident man knows his time and resources are precious. He gives, yes, but he gives to someone who's proven she deserves it. He invests in a woman who shows respect, loyalty, and interest, not just because she's attractive. When you throw everything at her before she's earned it, she doesn't think, "Wow, he's so caring." She thinks, "Why is he trying so hard? What's wrong with him that he needs to buy my attention?" And once she starts thinking that way, the attraction flips into pity, or worse, indifference. Now here's where most men argue. They say, "But I want to show her I'm serious. I don't want to play games, and that's fair. But attraction is not about games, it's about balance." Overinvesting isn't seriousness, it's insecurity disguised as effort. It's saying, "I don't think I'm enough as I am, so I need to overcompensate." Women pick up on that energy fast, and instead of appreciating your effort, they lose respect for you. The truth is, women value what they work for. If she has to earn your attention, your time, your affection, she values it more. If you hand it all to her on day one, she has nothing to strive for. It's like giving someone a trophy before they've run the race. It doesn't feel like an achievement, it feels empty. The right move? Invest proportionally. Match her effort. If she reaches out, you respond. If she plans something for you, then you plan something in return. If she starts showing loyalty, then you reward that with more of your energy. That way, the connection grows naturally, not forced. Overinvesting is desperation. Balanced investing is attraction. And when you master that balance, you'll never look like you're trying too hard again. 6. Needing constant reassurance. One of the quickest ways older men destroy attraction is by constantly fishing for reassurance. You know what I mean. Asking questions like, "Do you really like me?" Or, "Are you sure you're not seeing someone else?" Or, "Am I your type?" On the surface, these questions may feel harmless, maybe even playful, but underneath, they reveal insecurity. And insecurity, no matter how you dress it up, always looks desperate. Here's the reality. A confident man never needs to be told he's enough. He already knows it. He assumes attraction unless proven otherwise. But when you keep looking for confirmation, when you keep trying to measure her interest through her words, you're basically handing her the power and asking her to validate you. And nothing kills sexual energy faster than a man who can't stand strong without someone else's approval. Women notice this instantly. At first, she might laugh it off, give you the reassurance you're begging for, but in her mind, she's filing you under insecure. Because a man who truly understands his value doesn't ask, "Am I good enough?" He shows up in such a way that she already feels it, without him saying a word. When you keep checking if she's still into you, you're actually planting doubt in her mind. Instead of reinforcing attraction, you're reminding her of what could go wrong. Here's the irony. Women test men all the time, but not with their words, with their actions. She might pull back slightly, take longer to text, or act a little distant, just to see how you handle it. If your first reaction is to panic and demand reassurance, you fail the test. You've shown her that your confidence is fragile, that you're only strong when she's constantly stroking your ego. But if you stay calm, if you keep your composure and act unbothered, you pass. And when you pass, her attraction grows deeper, because now she sees you as stable, unshakable, the type of man she can't easily control. The secret is this: let her prove her interest through actions, not words. If she keeps showing up, if she keeps engaging, if she makes time for you, that's your reassurance. You don't need to ask for it. You just need to notice it. Because the man who doesn't beg for validation is the man who creates mystery. And mystery, not reassurance, is what makes her obsessed. 7. Always being too available. The final mistake that makes older men look desperate is being too available. It's when you drop everything the second she calls, when you're free every night she asks, when your entire schedule magically clears the moment she wants to hang out. At first, she might think, "Oh, that's sweet, he really wants to see me." But very quickly, that sweetness turns sour. Because when you're always available, you're sending one very clear message: I have nothing else going on in my life except you. And no woman finds that attractive. Think about it. If you're always ready at her convenience, she never gets the chance to wonder about you. She never gets the chance to miss you. And desire thrives in absence as much as presence. When you're always around, always waiting, you kill the very tension that fuels attraction. Instead of seeing you as a high-value man with a full, meaningful life, she starts to see you as a man orbiting around her, hoping she'll throw him some attention. And the moment she senses that, the spark fades. Here's the truth. Women want a man whose time is valuable, a man who has his own passions, his own priorities, his own mission. That's the kind of man she respects. When you're busy building your life, pursuing your goals, and she has to actually earn a spot in your schedule. She feels the weight of your value. She thinks, if I get his time, it must mean something. He doesn't give it to just anyone. That scarcity makes your presence more powerful, not less. Now, don't misunderstand. This doesn't mean you play games or act unavailable just to manipulate her. It means you actually live a life worth living, one that doesn't revolve around chasing a woman's attention. If you genuinely have things going on, work, hobbies, friendships, self-growth, you won't even have to fake being busy. You'll naturally be less available, and that authenticity is what makes her crave your time even more. So here's the bottom line. When you're too available, you look desperate. When you have balance, sometimes present, sometimes absent, you look powerful. The man who makes her wait a little, who doesn't jump at every opportunity, creates anticipation. And anticipation is the seed of obsession. If you want her thinking about you when you're not there, don't always be there. Let her feel the gap, let her chase your presence, and she'll value it far more when she gets it. Now you've seen it, the 7 mistakes older men make that instantly kill attraction and make them look desperate. Overtexting, bragging, drowning her in compliments, rushing intimacy, over-investing too soon, begging for reassurance, and being too available. Each of these behaviors might feel harmless in the moment, but together they destroy your chances faster than anything else. Why? Because desperation is the opposite of desire. A woman doesn't fall for the man who smothers her, chases her, or bends his entire world around her. She falls for the man who makes her feel curiosity, tension, and respect. Here's what you need to understand. Women aren't just watching what you do, they're feeling the energy behind it. If your actions come from insecurity, she senses it instantly. If they come from calm confidence, she feels it even stronger. And that difference is everything, because attraction isn't built on logic, it's built on emotion. If you make her feel pressure, she runs. If you make her feel mystery, she leans in. So the next time you catch yourself chasing, overgiving, or begging for validation, stop, step back. Remember that your value doesn't come from her approval. It comes from the life you've built, the man you've become, and the strength you show by not needing her to complete you. The man who knows his worth never looks desperate, and that's the man she can't stop thinking about.